like to be on time. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to today's meeting in the Soulful Leaders Academy. And I'm very happy to have you all on. I, of course, am Christine Sau and I host this academy. I don't necessarily lead it all the time. I facilitate it. I set up the technology. Who's that? Zoom user guest. And I'm very happy to offer anybody that has something good to teach this space at some point to help improve their skills as a soulful leader. Okay, let me rename you, Emily, so we know who you are because you are a wonderful person.
Sorry I took so long getting on. I tried.
Technology is great, but it's not always 100% reliable. So as I said, today we are talking soulful sales, and I just mentioned briefly that we had that wonderful webinar with Byron Barker, and it is transferable, the skills that he taught about inviting, because everybody that sells a product or a service needs to be able to connect with people in a way that gets them interested in what you have to sell. Now, nobody will be interested in you or your product unless they truly feel that you first are interested in them. That's the basics. And so I put what he said, I distilled it a little bit down. That's what I like best. And put it in a presentation. And that's what I want to talk about today. And then we'll maybe do some role play. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Thank you.
I love role play. It's scary, but I always found it's the most valuable thing to actually learn how to do it with confidence. Okay. Any questions, comments before we start? No? Okay. What I ask is if you have any background noise, mute yourself just to make sure that we get a good video that we want to share with whoever is interested later to review it. And let's see how I can share the screen. Oops. So you get a nice full screen view. And let's pull that up here. There we go. There's my PowerPoint slide. The 90-day blitz. Oh my God, I love that. I get excited easily, as you know, when I have something that really I feel is valuable, not just to me, but also to others. I get excited and I want to share it. And the idea is you learn something, then you start doing it. And while you do that, you also start teaching it because then you learn the best. That's what I like to do. So I'm teaching you today the 90-day blitz. Not that I have a lot of experience with it, but I'm pretty good in learning what others know how to do and tell us how to do. And I want to share it with you because this is one of the most valuable lessons I got myself. So how do we do that? A 90-day blitz to bring our business, whatever the business is, forward, commit to doing product or service invitations and exposures so that other people know about you and what you do every day for 90 days and track the results. And I want to teach you the practical aspects on how to do it according to Byron Barker, because he became a millionaire doing it and he's generous enough to teach us. Wow, I want to be a millionaire in 20 years. That's how long it takes on average, I learned. Okay, how to do it? Become an expert inviter. If you have, that's the easy way. If you have a ready-made product that you sell, for example, seed nutrition, I use it as an example because that's a product I like personally, but it works for any other product, whether you sell internet, whether you sell your presentation that you already have on your hard drive. It is a product at that point. Whether you sell a service like coaching services, that is a service. Whatever you sell, become an expert inviter. And today we'll talk about the 3 questions and 1 statement that leads to people getting interested or saying no, which is fine, and then how to transition to a third party or tool, and how to do that all without losing friends, being nasty, pushy, sleazy, which we all hate to do. Nobody likes to be sold to, but people love to buy. So what can we do to help them to buy our product and services and be confident that they made the right choice? So how we do it, and here's what Byron teaches, broken down to make it clearer, and it's really easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, the 3 questions and 1 statement. Question 1 is just a general question. And what we do, as we say, do you, or do you know anybody that? For example, if the product or service you're selling helps people to have more energy and more focus, you can say, do you know anybody that is interested in having more energy and more focus, doing it in a healthy way? And they can say, no, that's not for me. I like McDonald's better. Fine, move to the next one. But most people would probably say, oh, yeah, tell me more. And then you go on. Or when you sell a presentation, you can say, do you know any venue that would be interested in a presentation on the topic of, and insert your topic. And they say, oh, I heard that so-and-so venue takes presentation, and you can ask how much they pay and so on, because the goal is in the end to have paid presentation, right? You don't want to do it for free forever. Or if you sell a product that helps people make more money, you can say, do you know anybody in today's economy that is looking for some extra income on the side? And if they say, no, we have lots of money, we don't need extra money, then you move to the next one or ask another question. So that way, it's really simple and easy. And if they say no, no harm done, you can continue the conversation with a friend. You can easily sprinkle that in a conversation after they, hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. Oh, by the way, do you know anybody that has been dealing with, not feeling like they have focus and energy? Easy. Or, by the way, do you know anybody that's interested in slowing down the aging process? That's, by the way, how brain helps. Next question is, say, if they say, yeah, sure, my mother's dealing with that. I'm very concerned that she's getting dementia soon. Oh, you can say, how long has that been a problem? How long has it been around? Because you want to find it out like a physician doing a diagnosis. You want to know what really is going on. You want them to describe it to you in as much detail as they can. Or and that's especially when you do B2C sales. That is very important, because that shows that you don't want to sell them. You're really interested in them and you care for their well-being. And that's for anybody that's working in the wellness industry. That is an important consideration, because we truly want to help others. But on the other hand, we don't want to push it on them, because not everybody is interested in actually getting well, and that's fine. They may say, but then when it comes down to it, they don't do the things that they need to do. That happens a lot. So really, we are trying to meet a need. We are trying to find out, is there a need? And if not, your product or service is not for them. When you offer a presentation and ask them, do you know a venue? Or you go to the venue and you ask the venue, are you interested in the presentation? And they say, no, we are closed. We have presentations lined up for the next 5 years. Well, this is not the venue you should be spending your time on, right? You need a venue that has openings where you can get in. Because in the end, when it's getting B2C, you want to talk with people. And even if you sell to business, you're always talking to the person in front of you. Don't forget that. They are the hero. And what we are trying to do is giving them the hero story, making them the hero, because they meet the person and they drink the drinks, they eat the things they eat. And then, or they show the presentation that you offer for sale, or they take the product or services you do. And because of that, they get superpowers. They get what they want. They get more money. They get more exposure. Everybody says, wow, that was a great presentation. That's what you want. It's about them and what they want. And you know, in every movie that we've seen, first the hero comes from a bad scenario. They meet somebody, something happens, and things change, and they are the hero. That's exactly what we want to give to our prospects or the person we meet. And the next question, that after they tell you exactly what they need, if it goes on like that, you say, okay, so that's a problem. Say, I have openings in my calendar. I need presentations. What have you tried to fix it so far? Well, I talked to everybody. They have nothing good that fits in my content calendar. Or I've tried to get more energy by buying every supplement on the world on Amazon. My cupboards flow over and I'm still tired every day. I went from doctor to doctor. I got medications. I got everything, and it's still not better. So did it work? Right? Did any of that work? Well, it worked maybe a little bit, but I'm still so tired. I still have no energy. I still have the eczemas all over my body. My stomach, oh my God, it pains and I have to run all the time. I can't stay home. I'm chained. Stuff like that. So you really know what they're struggling with. And then, depending on the product you have, you need to craft a statement. And then you can say, well, the reason that I ask is because. And then you say what you found, what you have. And it can be a product or a service. Well, the reason that I ask is because I found something that has blown my mind, and it's helping people exactly in this scenario. Or the reason that I ask is because I've just a presentation for you that would fit exactly in your content calendar. And I've gotten very good feedback in the past about it. And then you can follow up with an ask. Like, when's the soonest that? Or if I do this, would you? What's the soonest you could put my presentation on your calendar? Ask for it. Or if I send you a video about the product, would you have a look? If I said, would you show this to your mom if it's your mom? And if they say yes, most people do, because that's a very unoffensive ask. Oh, if I sent you a video about this, would you show it to your mom? Oh, of course I would. Great. Always confirm what they say with perfect, great, awesome, good. That's a sales and communication, because good sales is good communication generally. Soulful sales is soulful communication. There's nothing sleazy or bad about it. It just has a purpose. And not always is a purpose clear, not always is a purpose fulfilled. But in any case, you want to have a fulfilling conversation with whoever you meet. Even if they're not interested, don't just say, oh, they're an idiot. No, they have other interests. And it may not. And as Brian says, if they say no to what you have to offer now, it means not now. And you can offer it again later on if suitable. And that applies to anything, because that is simple, right? You don't want to do a sleazy sales pitch. You want to sound and feel like you have a genuine interest in what they are doing, what they are wanting, what they're doing right. And you have a genuine interest in helping them. And I assume that we all have a genuine interest of helping others. And I've listened to many excellent salespeople, and good sales means that you get more of what you want if you help others get more of what they want. That is good sales. Now, then often you transition to a third-party tool. You could have created that yourself as a presentation or video, or you could have somebody that is your manager in a company, or your friend, or your upline or downline when you are in a multi-level business, and whoever, somebody else that you know that knows the business, that knows the product or service, or a thing that you have that confirms what you do. You can send a video of your last appearance. Can I send you a video of that? Or can I give you a link to my website so you can have a look what I've done in the past? Can I send you my Media One sheet when you're a presenter? And of course, they say yes, because I want to learn about it at that point. And then you follow up right after to answer questions and do the first attempt to tie down. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in part. When it comes to RAIN International, it's a 3-way call or chat with another RAIN partner. Because most of the time, you are not that credible if you don't know the person. But the more people are involved, the more you have credibility. For example, you have a TEDx talk that you did that you can share. You have a public appearance with feedback that you can share. You have a Media One sheet with feedback that you can share. Stuff like that is quite important. Yes, Sarah?
What does the acronym RAIN stand for?
That's a good question. It's really just a company name.
Okay.
It's a seed nutrition company, and many people here, like Jackie and Emily and me, we offer their products. They are very helpful for many issues like age defying and giving me energy. It's not for everybody, but I personally have looked at many supplements. I love them. And
Okay, thank you.
no problem. And they give you all the tools. And I've seen how much easier it is when you have a product that's already done for you with all the marketing done for you. So after they looked at the video, or after the third party helped you to present, or after you sent them the link with the proof, your Media One sheet with the feedback, your video of your presentation, you can call them if possible, go to them, or send them a text message or email and ask, hey, I just wanted to follow up. What did you like best about what I sent you? Whatever it is. And then we'll send them in the next direction or tie it down. And tie it down is a nice term that Byron uses for close them. That's a trial close, as the salespeople say. Because the question is not really, do they like what I like? But the question is, do they like what they see? What they see, not what I know, what they see. Now, the step 3, of course, is addressing concerns. And it's always good to assume that they want it. And then we'll talk about how to address concerns and how to tie it down. Now, the next step is to ask, are there any other questions? After you have shown them the video or you follow up with them, right? That was the last thing we said. Do you have any questions after I sent you the video of my presentation? Do you have any questions about my one sheet? And if they say no, it's okay. And then they say, great. So what we need to do then is book me in for my next appearance. When do you have an open slot? Assume that they want it, right? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to do it? If you sell any product, you need to be 100% convinced that the product is, number one, the greatest product that you have ever seen and used. And number two, that from what you heard so far, it is a great product for your prospect to help them, to serve them. And if you're not, it's not ethical to even offer it to them. So at this point, you need to be convinced, number one, that you have the best product ever. So I would, for example, never sell a supplement that I wouldn't personally take or that I don't personally take. I would never be able to sell a computer system that I wouldn't use. So I said to myself, it's miserable. I would never use it. I couldn't sell that. I couldn't sell even a vacuum cleaner that I wouldn't use myself. And that applies to every product or service. If you wouldn't buy it yourself, if you haven't bought it yourself, if it's something you can buy, why would anybody else want it? If it's so miserable that you yourself don't want it, why would everybody else? So if it's good enough, if it's really good, if it's one of the best or the best in the market that you can get, then you're proud to sell it. If you're just going to a movie, say that's a product that you want to sell your friend to going with you to the movie, you go to the friend and they say, hey, I've heard about that movie. It's the greatest movie ever. And this and this and this is about it. And I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited. Are you coming with me? This is a sale. I mean, you think about it. You're convinced that movie is the best for them. Otherwise, you wouldn't offer it to them. That's the same thing that we do in business. No difference. So if they don't have any questions, assume that they want it. Of course. Why wouldn't they? It's the best product that we really feel it's the best product for them. We know it's an excellent product. It works for us. It works for others. We know all the testimonials. We know it's an excellent product. Of course, everybody will want it. Well, some people still have concerns and they say no, which is fine. So what if they say no? Where is it? I have more here. Okay, when they say no, there's concerns. They ask questions. They say, yeah, but I'm interested, but it's too expensive. What if this is? But I don't know about seeds. I've heard my doctor said I shouldn't take seeds because I have IBS. And so most often we may not know the answer, and then it's okay to ask somebody else that may know the answer. That applies to yours too, because that is concerns, objections is the same. So if somebody tries your product, that's great. If not, it's great. It's important to not go into any sales situation with the expectations that or the need to sell it. It's bad. You have to go in with whatever happens is great. I just want to offer it, and then they make their decision. And whatever it is, yes or no is fine. Because we have to be efficient with our time. Whether the answer is yes or no, doesn't matter. The worst outcome for us is maybe, because then you waste your time with saying, well, then they say, I'm not interested, right? It's the most common thing that's a maybe. I'm not interested. Right now, I'm not interested. And you can't make them interested if they're not interested. That means you haven't explained the benefits enough. If somebody tells you I'm not interested in what you have to offer, it means I haven't seen enough benefits for me to be interested. And that's okay. Sometimes it's them, sometimes it's us. And when you start as a salesperson, there's a lot of I'm not interested you get, because you are not able to explain the benefits in a way that they see it. And it's okay, because we'll be honest about what we say and what we offer, because we care about them. And I care about the product. I care about what we're doing. And if I really believe in them, I'll try to get a commitment and get a no or a yes. Either one is fine, not a maybe. And so you can say something, well, I like it. And how about you try the product first? And sometimes they say, oh, no, I don't want to try it. And always agreed, oh, absolutely, yeah. I understand where you're coming from. You probably tried enough products and they didn't work, or sometimes it doesn't, and it's fine. But besides that, is there anything else holding you back? So whatever they say as a yeah, but, why they don't want to do it, acknowledge it, agree to a certain extent with them. Yes, it's a valid concern. But besides that, is there anything else holding you back? And repeat that process until there's nothing else. And besides that is a great phrase. And yes, it's product specific how you address objections because it depends on the features. I cannot give you the objections that come up when they, for example, reject what is a vacuum cleaner. I haven't sold vacuum cleaners, but you will see over time what they come up with, why they can't use you, why they don't have time, why they don't have money, and there are ways to address it in a very gentle and soulful way. We'll talk about that too. And then the next step is to tie it down. Try to get a commitment. See where they are. Other people say, feel the temperature. And say, okay, just suppose we sent you the product and you have these experiences like the many other people having, like I'm having. Suppose that happens for you. Is there anything that would hold you back from doing this? And at that point, they will tell you either, no, nothing would hold me back. Yeah, I want to do it. And then you enroll them, and we'll talk about how to do that in whatever, or you let them pay, send them the payment link. Or they tell you another concern, another objection that you want to do. And that's where it comes to, the famous sentence, always be closing. No, but you always try to get a commitment to make them say no or tell them everything that's holding them back if they're still in conversation. And basically until they stop answering your phone call. That's when you made a mistake and didn't get a yes or no. And that is pretty nasty. And that is the people that we don't want to hear from, and that we all, at least I have done it in the past, that I've followed up with people that really didn't want it. And I didn't ask them to tie it down. I didn't ask for the commitment. I didn't get the no. So I just thought, yeah, maybe I should try. And they felt annoyed. That's why telemarketing is so miserable, because people just try, even if people told them clearly, no, that's not ethical sales. Don't do it. And you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste other people's times. So not the wannabes. Okay, say if they want it, ideal case, you can enroll them. And then you say something like, okay, great. So what we need to do then is, and give them the next steps. And that can be, let me enter you in the system. I'm going to send you the link for my payment, or here's my email for the e-transfer, or we can fill this out together if it's a form right now, and we can get you started. And when the sale is done, congratulate them. Always say, thank you, you made a great decision. I'm sure that you will have all success. And then the most important thing that most people forget, follow up. What do you do? Even if they bought, don't forget your customers. Tell them to call you when they got the product, so you can unbox it together if it's a product. And if it's a service, tell them the next steps and congratulate them and tell them the outcome that you expect and the details. And if it's a product that gets shipped, call, text, emails after a few weeks, after your presentation, same thing, after the presentation happened. Call the venue and say, how did it go? How was the feedback? And if it's a subscription, get the subscription renewal date and call them a few days before the renewal to see how they are doing. And if they are no, you still want to follow up, but first you get permission. And that also shows you how interested they are. And you say, hey, if this thing continues to go like I think it's going to go, or if I have another presentation with a different topic, if this continues to change people's lives like it's been doing, is it okay? You can say something like, if I just tap you on the shoulder in a couple of months and let you know how it's going, or ask you if another slot is opening up. This is very good. And they say, yeah, sure. And then you have permission to follow up. And if they say, no, I'm really not interested in your presentations anyway, then you know where you stand. And you strike them off your list and go someplace else. It's always good. And now you have the permission, and then you follow up. Anytime something newsworthy happens, either in a product, you have a new product, a new system, or for a presentation, I have a new presentation. Hey, I know the timing wasn't right a while back, but just a quick question. I have this, or we are getting ready to launch the new presentation, new course. Do you know anybody, or do you know anybody that knows anybody, wherever, whatever, that is interested in a presentation on drones, for example? Yeah, and I know you just did one on drones. It was amazing. So you can rinse and repeat that process, and it can take years. You always find something new that you can call or text them about and tell them, hey, I know the timing wasn't right a little back, or I've been thinking of you when I did this. Would you be interested? And maybe a yes, maybe a no. You never know. And then I wanted to close with special cases because I found it so helpful. Just starting conversations with strangers when you stand in a line with someone. It's always helpful. I call it see the smile because you can always make somebody smile. You can always say, hi, how do you do? And you ask them, what is it that you do? Or you can make them a compliment. And more often than not, they reciprocate. They say, oh, I do this and that. And I say, but what do you do? And then you can say, oh, what do I do, man? Or whatever. Yeah, really, what I do is we've got it. And then you tell them what you do. So let me ask you a question. And then you ask your questions from step one. And you can also do cold asks if needed on social media that are still nice. For example, in the seed nutrition case, have you heard anything about seed nutrition? You can ask. Or have you heard anything about the presentation topic? Or are drones anything that you're interested in? Is mental health one of your topics of interest? Whatever you are. And then you can go on and say something. They usually say, no, what is it? If you have something that they don't know, or you say yes or no. And I say, thanks. I'd love to show you something that I do if it's okay. It's really that we've got, and then you tell them what you got. Then you go on step one. And that is really the simple way to invite people to your product or service. Now I want to open the floor for questions and discussions because this is easy to say. It is a little harder to practice. What do you think?
Lately, I have been attending a lot of speed networking events where, I have 3 minutes. How can I adapt this process and condense it to 3 minutes to say, this will be someone who's interested, this one wouldn't be?
That is a very good question. And when you have 3 minutes to introduce yourself, that's really called an elevator speech. 3 minutes is a long time for an elevator speech. I can help you to condense it to 30 seconds. A minute, it all works. Now, what I would love to do is have a special meeting about that because that's a topic, how to condense what you do to a short time to pique interest so others come after the presentation and say, oh, tell me more about that. Or they click on the link. That's what you want when you have an elevator speech. Like in an elevator, you see somebody, you have no time, you just go from one floor to the next, but you have to explain everything you do in one sentence. So that when they get out of the elevator, they have a way that you can follow up with them or they can click on a link and see what you do. Make sense? We'll have a special session about that because elevator speeches are so much fun. Jackie, what did you want to know?
With regards to the elevator speeches, I took Toastmasters for quite a long time, and I was actually thinking about going back into it. In Toastmasters, every meeting before the evaluated speeches are given, there are opportunity to do a 1 to 2 minute speech, which is basically off the cuff. They give you the topic, and you have to come up with what you're going to say right in the moment. And it's a great way to practice thinking on your feet.
That's awesome.
In
We should
business, we need to,
we should practice that in one of the meetings because
we should.
yeah,
And I recommend anybody take Toastmasters, because if
yes.
you're at all not confident or if you lack any kind of, it just helps prepare you. It gets you practice to be a leader and a speaker.
Yeah. I loved Toastmasters. I went there for 2 years and I did my CC. I felt I knew enough about speaking, and I was confident about it to craft my own speeches and videos. So I do recommend it. They teach you how to engage people in a very short time.
Even just if you do it for a year, and I think I'm going to get back into it because I feel like I've lost some of that. So,
Sure.
and I can help. I went through the actual, and I'm doing my ahs and ums, which I shouldn't be, but I went through the whole training program, and I received my Distinguished Toastmasters, which is my award. It's the highest designation in Toastmasters one can receive.
Excellent.
Nice.
So we should teach some of that together. And I know that you want to do that, and we'll create a curriculum and do that once. I know you're very busy at the moment, but
Yeah, I'll start it during March break because I'll have a week off then.
excellent. I can't wait to do that because that will be awesome. And I know I have many people in my network that have amazing skills in different areas. And I'm so looking forward in having them do a session because I don't know it all. I know less the older I get, honestly, or I'm more aware of how little I really know of all the things that can be known. So I'm very happy to feature others. My role here, and that's how I see it, is to provide the platform, set up the technology. I love technology, and enjoy and learn myself, help out where I can. And I always use the example when I talk about selling of seed nutrition because I found them very beneficial. And it's not for everybody, but it's a nice business. It's a great product, so why not? And it
I
fits
also
my
can.
background as a physician, naturopath, and supplement expert.
Mhm.
So it always has to fit. The product that you sell has to fit your story, your background, your knowledge. So, for example, when I was selling internet technology door to door, I used as a backstory, I used my father. He was a physicist, and I talked about how he participated, how he came home one day and talked about the new invention that he patented as a patent officer, which was a fiber optic cable that we now use to transmit electronic data. Boom.
Really?
Wow.
It's true. I was a teenager. He patented
Wow.
it in Germany.
Wow.
So that was a good story. And I had a piece of the fiber optic cable from Bell. They gave us one, and I had it hanging on my lanyard, and I showed it to people. And that brought actually the emotion out that you need to advance a sale if it's a good product.
Wow. That's amazing.
That
It
was
is.
was very interesting for me to learn.
Yeah.
I find nothing as interesting as learning and living. Emily, and you're really good in invitations.
I took a Christopher leadership course many, many years ago. Anyway, I found that very interesting at the time, and I needed that to kind of build my confidence. I mean, I've been in pipe bands all my life and doing performances, and that was a piece of cake. But to get up and speak in front of somebody, that's a different situation. But I would really like to learn more about the elevator speech because I've been working on that, and I really do need to get one down pat, and
Let's
that I'm
do it
very
next
comfortable
time.
with. Yeah, okay, sounds great. And Jackie, you're my goodness, I admire you for getting through that Christian that course on speaking because it really, I'm sure it really is an amazing benefit to have. And yeah, that's great. So this is going to be really good for you, the whole situation of what we have to share and be able to get it all together. So that's great.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you for the
thanks.
feedback, Emily. That is amazing. There are so many amazing people in this world. I can't stop loving it. But let me ask you question. I love questions. What was the scariest thing that you ever have done to advance your career and build confidence?
Oh my. You mean with what I'm currently doing or years ago?
Whatever.
Well, as you
Scariest thing
know,
you ever done. You're still a young woman. Oh,
yeah, right. I wish. I think the scariest thing I ever did was when we started up our own export business for chanterelle mushrooms. I mean, I did business all over the world. It was all just done over phone. There was nothing in writing, and it was just totally right here. And I had to depend on the weather. Sometimes it'd be too wet for mushrooms. Sometimes it'd be too dry; they wouldn't grow. I would have people that they would have outlets that I could go and they would collect mushrooms, and I had to make the rounds every day. So to get that all together and organized, and I mean, it was all right here. And it was quite an experience. So it's kind of maybe set a base that I could work on with what I'm currently doing, although there's no pressure in that regard. Everything is taken care of, and all I have to do is just speak to people and let them know. I mean, I'm 79. I got to tell you, I feel better than I did 20 years ago. And I just want people to be healthy and happy. So that's my goal.
and most people want exactly that. And
Yeah.
the trick is how to help them
How to
see
do
the
it.
benefits
Yeah.
of that product versus everything else that's in
Exactly.
this world. There's so
And-
much
and-
fun around.
And make them see the value in what it is, right? That to get that value display, that they understand the value. Don't say it's expensive,
And
because
wouldn't you agree, Emily? Whatever we sell, there's a lot of competition around.
Yeah.
They always, whoever we offer what we have to sell to, they have a choice. It's
correct.
just
Yeah.
we are kind of consultants trying to help make them a good choice for them. That's all.
Okay. I'm working on that one.
I'm kind of a consultant. I tell people what I can do, what I have done, and what I would be able to offer them, what I think is best for them. But in the end, people always make their own decisions, and that's perfect. The same when I work in my medical or naturopathy capability. I talk to people, I hear what they need, what they struggle with, and then I say, here's what I think would be the best strategy to solve that problem or to help address it and make it better. And then it's up to them whether they want it or not.
Okay.
And more often than not, people don't want it, even if we know it's in their best interest. It's like when we raise kids, we think we know what's best for them. Do they always do it? No, especially when they become teenagers, right?
I've had 4.
I had 2 and I was one. And I still remember when I was 16, I had solved all problems of the world. I knew everything and I was ready to get the Nobel Prize. I'm 63. I never got it yet. I doubt that I ever
You
will.
I don't know.
It's perfectly fine if I don't. But it's kind of interesting how different you think when you're 16 and when you're 60.
You know what's good though, Christine? You said you didn't get it yet.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
That's great.
You never know.
You never know.
I'm only 63. I have a lot of
Exactly.
life ahead.
Exactly.
Every day, every second, all we have is that little tiny sparkle of the current moment.
Yeah.
That's how I see the life. All we have is this little sparkle. Do you use it for your benefit, that of others and society at large? Or do you let it go out or let others extinguish your sparkle? And it's your choice.
Perfect. I like that.
That's what I said in my speeches. And my favorite movie that I made with my dear friend Maxine. It's funny. It's so imperfect. 7 Steps to Climb the Mountain of Life. It's the most imperfect movie I've ever done, filmed by a local videographer. The sound is not perfect. He didn't do a perfect job. Oh, that's okay. It won't be aired in Hollywood, but the content is excellent, I think. It was so much fun. And we are reading from our script every now and then. That's how bad actresses we are. But it was fun to do. It was fun to publish. And it has a few views on YouTube. So why not?
Cool.
One of my mentors said, whatever is worth doing is worth doing badly.
Not the well.
I think that's a very important thing to say. Because many of us think, oh, I'll do it when I'm better at it. I'll do it when I know how to do it right. No, don't wait. Just go out and do it there. And some people have stage fright. And you know, Emily, I know that you hesitate to do the presentation that we can do, and we have one in 10 minutes. And I want to invite you to try it because, you know, you're such an accomplished person, such an accomplished business person. I find it interesting that some people struggle in certain areas, and I do too. When I go to a certain person, I get nervous. Oh my God, what can I say? How can I connect with them? Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. When I pick up the phone and I want to talk to somebody that I don't know, I get nervous. It's okay, it's normal. And it's okay to admit it too, because hey, nobody's perfect. It would be nice.
When I get a better setup for technology here.
See?
Yeah, I have to
Not
get a better
necessary.
setup. No, I'm not saying no for never, but when I get a better setup, all I have is my iPad and I don't have all that stuff. We don't have great internet, so yeah.
None of that is necessary for an amazing presentation, honestly.
In person, I'm looking forward to doing one actually with a group of people in person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I know you'll be amazing at it, like everybody of you will be amazing and is amazing. I've heard amazing presentations from Ian. Oh, wow. It really impressed me, the knowledge. Wow. And it wasn't perfect either, but it was great. That's good enough. So I dare you, just get out and do it. If it's scary, and especially if it's scary. Because people don't grow as people. They don't advance because they stay in their comfort zone. So many people, and that's well statistics, they go to bed after they retire. They are very happy to sit around on the Chesterfield and watch TV all day. And after 6 months, they are dead.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing to live for. Watching TV all day is not a very good way to live, honestly. Very few people live long doing that.
I know we were snowed in here for like 4 days, so now we're going to finally get out, which is good.
Well, the snow was pretty hard on most of Nova Scotia, and I'm very grateful for everybody that shoveled, plowed snow. And my husband does an awesome job with the tractor. He dug out several neighbors, and one neighbor actually, they called him at 9 o'clock, the neighbors, and said, our neighbor hadn't shoveled her snow. We went over and we couldn't get to her, and we called the police and they found her dead. Can you plow the snow so the undertaker can go pick her body up? So he did. So there you go. That is reaching out and help the neighbor. That's I think what we need to do. It's important.
We do. Yeah.
And I don't know how long that poor woman laid dead in her house, but it made me think, and I thought, if I'm ever living somewhere by myself, I want to make sure somebody's checking on me every few days. I think that's an important thing.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting questions that opening up. So next time we'll do, I'm looking forward to it, really, the elevator speech. And we'll all try some in different lengths. We'll start with 3 minutes and then we'll whittle it down to one sentence, less than a minute. And it's interesting because Winston Churchill, one of the greatest speakers of the modern times, he said once, if I have an hour to speak, I need 10 minutes to prepare. If you give me 15 minutes to speak, I need a week. If I have 5 minutes to speak, I need a month to prepare. So if you want to condense what you have to say in a short statement, it takes you more effort, more time, more thought. Most people are able to ramble on for hours on time with no purpose. We all know those people. I don't want to be one of them, so we'll shut it up here. And if you have any ideas, anything you want to contribute, I'll be happy. If I know that you want to present something, and I'll be happy to show you, and you'll get a recording. It will be in the course.